Yesterday, Food for the Poor Guyana Incorporated formally opened the Bara Community Center. Details in this report. Yesterday, officials of Food for the Poor Guyana Incorporated, accompanied by Region 6 officials and members of the media, journeyed to Bara, a locality situated some 50 miles up the Kanji Creek, to officially open the Bara Community Center. At the opening ceremony, which was punctuated with cultural items, Mr. Roland Amsterdam spoke of the history of the community, and Mr. Wilton Hines delivered a report on the project's impact.
First of all, this project brought a smile on all residents of Bara faces. This project have within it solar panels which light up houses that were never lit before with electric energy. At present, people have better access to skill training because of the sewing machines, electric sewing machines that is, and solar power that's provided at this building. This building also houses preschool and daycare right here, and it's something that was always needed in our community. For the first time, computer training would be done, and it would be definitely accessible to each community member. The management committee is more ready to execute and in a more timely and efficient manner projects in the future. Project funds would be, as from this moment, would be more efficient and properly managed and be accounted for in every phase and in general. Here would be a neutral place for indoor sports and cultural activities and even community meeting. And finally, this project impacts this community so much that we can now work together as a community better than before to accomplish our goals in various projects. Thank you.
Chief Executive Officer of Food for the Poor Guyana Incorporated, Mr. Kent Vincent, in his remarks said,
I thank God that we came into this area.
Yeah, man.
The mission of Food for the Poor is to help those who are in need, to meet the needs of those who really need it. And when I heard, some of the things that were needed here, right away we said, we're going to assist.
Here, here.
And I know you've been thanking a certain person. It's sitting right there, Mr. Alex Foster.
Yeah.
Alex was instrumental in getting Food for the Poor to assist in this community. So you have a lot to thank him for.
Yeah.
But I keep saying to people, wherever we go, I know when we go and help communities, it's because the people in the community who are praying. And I know there are people in this community who pray and trust God. Yeah. Things don't happen by chance.
No.
God is directing it. Yeah. And I know you know that. Yeah. And I would like to encourage you, continue to pray. Pray for Food for the Poor, that we not only be able to help you more, but help other communities that are in need of assistance.
Mrs. Susan James Casserly, the Food for the Poor project's manager, expressed her joy at being present at the opening ceremony.
You recognize an accent here?
Yes.
Okay, I am originally from Jamaica, and one of the reasons why it was very important for me to come here is because the history of this community is part of my history in Jamaica as well.
All right.
And the history of the Maroons are those that left, the slaves that left and went into the mountains, where they could not be captured and where they were able to launch their attacks, but where they could survive. And we went into the community quite some time ago. And when we were there, they said to us, members of Food for the Poor, they said to us, We want to sustain our sovereignty. And that's why this building is important to you. That's why this building means so much to you. That's why this building means a lot to me, because I found out that you participated in building this structure. It's important that you are part of the building blocks. It's important because you will respect it. You will respect what that donor has given to make your lives better. And it's important because you will be able to make a better life for your children. And to that we are humbly happy to be a part of this process.
The president of St. Francis Community Developers, Mr. Alex Foster, who is also the Food for the Poor coordinator in Berbice, in his inimitable style, offered words of encouragement to the residents of the community.
It's even a greater honor for us to be commissioning this structure today, which is a testimony of what can be achieved in a community like this. And what if we work together, despite of who we are, what more can be achieved in the future? I wrote down a few things, but before I say that, I must make a comment on what the chairperson said, that when I get into this community, I normally like to talk and take over. That was supposed to be the last thing I was supposed to talk about, but let me make it the first. I was saying on our way up here today in the boat that now that Bara have a building, things have to change. Whenever we are in this community, we come here for a very short time. And listening to your history will tell us that you have been here since the end of slavery. And for us to change what you have been doing for over 250 years, the little time that we are in here, we have to be talking all of the time. That talking, therefore, is done so that you can be able to learn things differently. Nobody would ever say that they are not good people in Barakara. Everyone in Barakara happens to be good. But there are situations and circumstances which brings out the evil in some of us at times. And for that to change, they have to be a lot more of talking. I can guarantee you that the community of Barakara can change for the better. But for the community of Barakara to change, you will have to be doing a lot more of talking in the positive. My grandmother said, if we count our blessings, name them one by one, we will recognize what the Lord have done for us in the past. But Barakara have an attitude to count their misery, name them one by one, and at the end of the day, they recognize how miserable they are. Coming into this community, I have been trying to encourage the people to count their blessings, but do not be like the wife of Lot, who, given an opportunity to escape from the past called Sodom and Gomorrah, took the opportunity for one last chance to look back. The community of Barakara is looking back too much. It's time that from today you say like Lot and his two daughters, despite of what happened, we would not be like our wife and our mother and take one look back.
Mr. Imran Ali of the Region 6 RDC described the event as a red letter one for all.
Today is in fact a red letter day for all of us. I think it's one of the hallmark moments in every one of us, our lives today, because as a people, as a Guyanese people, we have joined together in this place to celebrate and of course to be witnesses onto a very important, a significant initiative that has taken place in this wonderful community.
Yeah, man.
This initiative, friends, that we are here to commission and to launch, for me, I think, for want of a better word, if I'm to describe it in terms of its impact, I think it will be transformational. Because what will happen here and what has happened here, it will in fact, in its impact, begin to transform the lives of every member of this community.
At the conclusion of the ceremony, those present toured the building.